It's a very calm evening. You guys, we are back in my hometown, Cleveland, Tennessee. And today, you guys, I want to talk to you all about an urban legend here in Bradley County. Now, at one time, this urban legend was just as well known as Tall Betsy, Cleveland, Tennessee's witch. However, this urban tale, it has slowly faded into the public eye of Bradley County and the rest of the world. And that was Bradley County's murder house. Now, where the murder house used to stand was right here in front of us. Right next to what is now a field going into the woods. This is where the murder house once stood. And now this is the legend. The urban legend that is stated was that in this house, by the way, was constructed sometime in the 1880s and was torn down sometime in the late 1980s. However, one story goes that a man hacked up his entire family, his 2 little girls, and his wife with an axe. Hacked them to death. And after he was done not being able to deal with his grief, he went up here to this gazebo right here, and he did something very horrific. In this gazebo, or what this present gazebo stands on top of, this man hung himself from the rafters, not being able to deal with the grief of what he had just done. Now, this might come off as a rather big, tall tale, but there are some ghost stories associated with what happened. From about the 50s up until the murder house and what was probably the original gazebo was torn down, people would drive along Nursery Road and they would test the theory. Was this house really haunted? Did somebody really hang themselves in the gazebo? Now, some people say, as they would drive late in the night off Nursery Road, their car would begin to act funny. The engine would stall. Sometimes the car would completely break down when the engine would be perfectly fine. So it makes me wonder what kind of energy is left here. Another instance was back in about 1986. My Uncle David McCoy, and a girlfriend of his, they were out here. They had their car parked out in this area. They had a radio. Now, as they were minding their own business, enjoying the hot summer sun of that beautiful 1980s year, they watched as the dial spun by itself and flung to a song. That song was Highway to Hell. I kid you not, that happened. However, it is said, if you walk around this building 13 times and whisper for this man to show himself, some say you can see him hanging there, hanging from the rafters, lifeless, dead. And some people say you'll open his eyes and stare right back at you. By the way, in this area there was also a barn that did fall in on itself, and the people who did go into the murder house, some of them described seeing a quote-unquote satanic symbols in the scraped into the walls. Some people even described seeing a headless person in the building. Someone said that they saw something's head roll, like they saw a spectral head roll right in front of them, and it looked right back at them. That is more folklore than it's more of a tall tale that has been passed down throughout the generations here in Bradley County. Let me show you this. And speaking of symbols, I'm not sure if that was created by some kids up to no good, Or maybe this was created by a coven who knows the history of what occurred out here on this land. It almost makes you wonder. I know it makes me wonder. Did something or someone or some people summon something? Probably not. Probably just kids messing around. But this is very, very eerie. Now, why I think it's just a bunch of kids messing around is typically if it is a pentagram associated with Satanism or the dark side of the occult, it will be inverse. It will be pointing down. A simple pentagram, which can also mean other things within other religions, it will be pointing up. So it kind of looks like it's pointing up. However, there are three sixes, which I guess it could be it, but I'm gonna keep going. This is kind of weird. Now, it is said that this spring house is one of the things left over from the murder house. This is a really well-known spot in Bradley County, by the way. However, a lot of people do come out here. Now, originally I thought this spring house was associated with an older house that's across the street. It could be. However, with seeing that inverted pentagram and knowing just what all goes on out here, I'm starting to think that it's probably something else. I think we're gonna go inside a moment. Who knows, maybe we'll see more symbols. I'm honestly curious because that kind of made me question things. And it looks like people have come in here. There's the anarchist symbol, and there are some more numbers. Who knows, maybe that inverted pentagram was just made by a bunch of kids, or maybe quite literally it was made by those who practice in the occult. I don't know, but this does kind of send chills down my spine, so we're gonna get out of here. I believe we are going to head out now. Now, as we're gonna be on our way back to the car, and as we're walking along the main trail, I do want to tell you about one ghost story that happened to my best friend. But in order to tell that story, we have to go out to the parking lot. Now, the events that transpired in that story that night that happened to my best friend and his fiance at the time is they were out for a walk, late evening stroll out here at Fletcher Park, and when they got to their car, which was about right here where their car was parked, they noticed at the far end of the field a tall black figure that stood about 7 feet tall, or so my friend described. While they were getting into their car, whatever this entity was, from the far end of the field, it jumped and it was in front of them, well, no more than about 10 feet away. He and his fiance at the time, they see this big, giant black creature. They jump in their car and they run off. Now, my friend could tell you the story better than I could, but anyway, guys, it feels good to start haunt season here in my hometown of Bradley County, Cleveland, Tennessee. I got a lot of cool stuff for you guys this year. But anyway, guys, remember, don't forget to subscribe and hit the bell icon. Always means a lot. Goes to show that y'all care and that y'all want to see more awesome content. So without further ado, you guys, vlog over.